The syllabus is often the entry point of a course for students that guides their first impressions of the instructor and the course, shapes their evaluations of what they'll learn, their ability to succeed in the course, and what support they'll get along the way. This brief video will introduce a learner-centered syllabus, briefly describe research on students' perceptions of syllabi, and then we'll share brief descriptions of 3 key characteristics of learner-focused syllabi: transparency, purpose, and support. Content-focused syllabi represent a traditional contractual approach. In this case, the syllabus is often thought of as a course document or record that may be submitted to the department chair as evidence of the course. It may also involve legalistic descriptions of policies that anticipate problems you might encounter with the students, whether it's their use of phones in class, late assignments, late arrivals, cheating, or plagiarizing. In summary, a content-focused syllabus tends to focus on what the course will do and what the students will not do. A learner-centered syllabus provides information that facilitates student learning and makes the design of your subject more transparent. It provides a pathway of learning through the course, a roadmap that articulates what the students will know and be able to do at the end of the course and how they'll learn it, the teaching methods, assignments, and class activities, and how content learning activities and assessments align together. The first step to creating a learner-centered syllabus is to intentionally design your course so that the alignment between goals you have for your students, the assignments they do, and the in-class activities are intentional and clearly stated. You clearly explain and justify your expectations for students, and you provide some guidance for how students will be successful. Researchers have conducted studies where students have been given a learner-centered syllabus or a content-centered syllabus for a given course, and then they ask students to describe their perceptions of the instructor and the course. Students who look at a learner-centered syllabus describe the instructor as approachable and helpful, encouraging and enthusiastic. They believe the instructor has set high expectations for them as students, and that the instructor genuinely cares about student learning. They describe the course itself as rigorous with important content. They expect that they will learn a lot and will develop skills for thinking like an expert in the discipline. And they also expect to engage more actively with the content and endure less lecturing. It does take more work to put together a learner-centered syllabus, but the findings from the scholarly research suggest that it is worth the time and effort because the students notice the difference. In addition, by going through the work of putting together the syllabus, you think through many aspects of the course and get a head start on planning. The first key characteristic of a learner-centered syllabus is transparency, which involves clearly communicating to help students recognize how teaching methods, assignments, and policies connect to the intended learning outcomes of the course and are designed to support their learning. It also involves explicitly describing norms and expectations for how students should engage with the concepts and the skills of the course, their classmates, the instructor, and the teaching staff, in order to make the hidden curriculum visible. This can be particularly helpful for students who lack the academic background or social capital to inform them implicitly of how to succeed or what's expected of them in a college-level course. For learning activities and assignments, you can think of transparency in terms of describing the what, why, and how. It means providing clear instructions for the tasks that students should do, the what. It involves clearly communicating the purpose of the instructional decisions, the why, and also articulating criteria for success or resources that might help them succeed, the how. I'm going to share an example of a streamlined description of research papers from a syllabus. You may want to pause the video now to actively identify for yourself the what, why, and how in this description. Here, the syllabus describes papers beginning with the what, a series of research-based written assignments and papers, followed by the why, where the students will develop skills such as evaluating scientific methodology, applying existing data to support or refute scientific debates, and proposing new research projects. as well as the how. They describe how their seminar instructor and core writing fellows can provide additional support in writing their paper. Now, I want to pull out a key element of transparency to make teaching a purposeful enterprise. In your syllabus, articulate how learning will have a lasting value for students. Don't leave it to chance that students will see the value of the learning activities and the assignments in the course. The why element, or the purposeful element of a learner-focused syllabus, involves stating the purpose of learning activities and assessments, and explicitly referring to what skills and knowledge they will gain and why that's relevant in the course subject. It also involves emphasizing the relevance of coursework to career and life-oriented contexts, sometimes with a specific explanation of how the concepts and skills gained in the course will connect in these contexts. Scholarly literature demonstrates that students who see their coursework as connected to a larger purpose or as relevant to their lives maintain focus in the face of challenge or frustration and learn more deeply. Here, this is an example of a journal article evaluation that begins by explicitly tying this assignment to learning outcomes 1 and 2, and then describes how the assignment is designed to assess the student's skills as a critical reader and to apply concepts taught in the published research. They go on to describe how becoming a critical reader will help in their future career by enabling students to be accurate in their assumptions and predictions. The final key element of a learner-centered syllabus is support. Here, it involves articulating reasoning for course policies to help students recognize when policies are designed to support their learning and to provide some insight into the instructor's perspective. Moreover, providing clear pathways if students need to be absent, turn in work late, leave class early, etc., lowers barriers for students to reach out and get the support they need when unforeseen circumstances arise. It may also explain tips and strategies for how to succeed in the course, which could include external tools or campus or course resources like the core writing fellows mentioned earlier that may support students' development of the skills and knowledge in the course. Here's another example of a supportive course policy. Here, for due dates and late work, this policy articulates reasoning for course policies, how falling behind might make it difficult to follow in class activities, stay on track, and contribute to team projects. And it provides clear pathways if students need to turn in work late by submitting a free pass or to email the instructor if they begin to fall behind. Together, transparency, purpose, and support create a welcoming and motivating learner-centered syllabus.